Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank Chairman Huffman for his leadership. I'm proud to speak in support of two of my bills being considered today, H.R. 5458 and H.R. 5459. As you have heard, these bipartisan bills would expand Rocky Mountain National Park and ultimately create more opportunities for Coloradans and visitors to our state to enjoy outdoor activities. H.R. 5458, the bill before the House right now, the Rocky Mountain National Park Boundary Modification Act, as has been articulated previously, would formally codify a generous donation into the park boundary made by former astronaut and Longmont, Colorado native Vance Brand. Mr. Brand bravely served our country in the armed forces and then served as an astronaut, and he has now so generously agreed to donate roughly 40 acres to Rocky Mountain National Park. This expansion would add additional protections for the park's high-elevation ecosystem and provide recreational access to literally hundreds of miles of trails. I'm proud to have introduced both of these legislative proposals, which came at the request of local communities that I represent, that I have the honor of representing back in Colorado, and that ultimately seek to protect the public lands that they love. The bills enjoy support from the town of Estes Park, from Larimer County, and the Rocky Mountain Conservancy. As one of the nation's most historic parks, Rocky Mountain National Park remains one of the top visited public lands in our country, attracting over 4.6 million people annually in recent years. Given the park's breathtaking scenery and iconic significance, these numbers are only anticipated to rise. I know my good friend from the 5th Congressional District of Colorado, Representative Lamborn, knows Rocky Mountain National Park well. I'm sure, like me, him and his family have had countless opportunities to enjoy the park and its breathtaking scenery, and it's an honor to be able to represent Rocky Mountain National Park here in the United States Congress. People from all over the world are drawn to the park, each for their own reasons, to experience nature, seek solitude, watch wildlife, and partake in outstanding recreational activities. I myself hold a number of treasured memories growing up in Colorado, enjoying Rocky Mountain National Park hikes with my father, and now being able to take my daughter on those same trails. It is something that holds deep meaning for many Americans, and especially for Coloradans. As we collectively seek healing and during and after the COVID-19 pandemic, our public lands offer both a mental and physical refuge, as well as an economic stimulus for the local communities that rely on them. Additionally, and this bears mentioning, this year's devastating wildfires have occurred across Colorado, forcing evacuations, threatening air and water quality, destroying homes and businesses. 3 of the state's 5 largest fires in the history of Colorado occurred in 2020. And while the bulk of these fires were on lands surrounding Rocky Mountain National Park, nearly 30,000 acres burned within the park's boundary. When the East Troublesome Fire grew over 100,000 acres in one day and swept through a portion of the park, a number of park structures were lost. I want to take this opportunity to thank the superintendent of Rocky Mountain National Park and her wonderful rangers, all of the personnel at Rocky Mountain National Park who work tirelessly to protect the park and the communities that surround it. Given the devastating nature of these wildfires, in addition to the COVID-19 pandemic, fulfilling the requests of local Colorado communities who have been impacted by not one, but 2 historic disasters is an even greater imperative. For that reason, I respectfully urge my colleagues to support both H.R. 5458 and H.R. 5459, bipartisan bills that will protect our treasured public lands. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I yield back.